This is Nikki Collins.
Jordan Canada.
Essence Carson.
Liz Candace.
Imani Meaty Stafford. And you're listening to WNBA Weekly.
Hey there, WNBA Weekly fans. Welcome to the construction project that is my basement. Sorry, I had to move my set around and stuff. We're going to be painting the basement to get the house ready to sell. But that's not what you're here for. You're here because we have some cool interviews. This last week, we were lucky enough to have 2 interviews. So we're going to release those as separate episodes here so you can listen to them individually. But the first one, this one, is going to be from Teaira McCowan of the Indiana Fever. Rookie. Obviously got drafted by the Indiana Fever pretty early in the draft and has been having a great year. She looks strong in the court. She obviously has confidence pulling off a buzzer beater in her very first WNBA appearance to beat the New York Liberty. So really interesting. Wanted to get her on and are excited to have her. Kyle was on the phone with her earlier this week, so here's that interview.
Teaira, we're super excited that you're on the show with us today. First of all, I just wanted to talk with you and kind of get a little bit of kind of I guess you could almost call it like an origin story, right? Like kind of get some background on your life and kind of coming up. You obviously had a phenomenal career at Mississippi State. A lot of games that you a lot of won games that you guys had there at Mississippi State. It's a proud program. It's a great program. So first question is, we just kind of want to hear from you. How did you end up at Mississippi State, and what was your experience like there?
Actually, my recruiting process, I was kind of, with the end, I didn't know where I was going to go. Like, I didn't take school seriously, so I was just kind of going through the motions during high school. And so it was the end of my recruiting season, and I was like, I didn't have any schools that I wanted to go to, and so I was thinking Baylor, then I was thinking Texas A&M, but one of the schools that I was actually speaking to, they were like, they didn't want to take the time out and try to get me eligible to come to go to a D1 school, and they said that it was too hard, it would be too much for them to go through to try to get me eligible, and they could just find another player. So with that being said, Coach Johnny Harris, she's on the Mississippi State women's basketball team. She came to my school, she flew down, and she got all the requirements that I needed to, come straight D1 and didn't have to go the JUCO route. And so at that point I knew that, I could trust her, and that was someone that, I needed on my side. And so I went on a visit there. The atmosphere was great, the fan base was great, everyone was welcoming me into the community, and so I felt like I was at home even though I wasn't at home. And so I actually committed before the end of my visit. So I think it was dinner, the last dinner, and I committed and I said I want to be a Bulldog. And from that point on, I just knew that I was going to grow and I was going to get better. And from my freshman to sophomore year, I improved tremendously. I slimmed down. I took my working out more seriously. I actually started doing much better, and school actually started taking it serious. And so I just grew from there.
That's fantastic. Now, at Mississippi State, that's a program that's done really, really well, especially lately. I know there's a lot of pride in Bulldog Nation down there. It's a fan base that you see take a lot of excitement, when it comes to their women's basketball. Was there anything that you saw there that you felt was was there anything that you could point to and say, this is the reason why they had such a good program? Is there, what is it about the culture there that made Mississippi State such a solid women's basketball program?
I would say we bought into what the coaching staff was putting out. I think that, they know what they're talking about. So it's just all of a mindset of, okay, like, we're going to buckle down and we're going to listen to the information that the coaches are giving us. We're going to put it into play. And it's all about us just enjoying playing the game while also executing the game plan that the coaches were giving us at the point in time.
Absolutely. I love it. So let's talk transition into the WNBA. It's a pretty quick transition. Just a couple months ago, you were still playing college ball, and here you are, partway into the season of the WNBA. It's a quick turnaround, after the NCAA tournament that you have there in March, beginning of April, it's just a few days, it's literally just a few days before the draft actually happens. And then you're immediately going to be reporting for training camps and whatnot. How has that transition been where you haven't really had much of an off season? You've just gone right into, professional ball right from the get-go. Can you speak on that quick transition that you have there?
Well, at Mississippi State, we play year-round, so we didn't really get a summer. Everyone normally has, like, June off or July off, but we actually only have May off, so that's technically only, like, 3-4 weeks. So, I mean, I'm used to playing year-round, but coming to the W, I mean, it's different. I went from, where did I go from? The Elite Eight to the Final Four to New York, and then I went to the Wooden Award. So I really wasn't at home. It was kind of crazy because it's like, okay, draft, and then you come here, you come to training camp. So it's all fast, it's all sped up, and you don't have time to get your thoughts together and try to figure things out. It's just kind of, I was on the fly, just, okay, I need to be here, here, here. And so, I mean, I took it pretty good, pretty well. I was just anxious to get here with my teammates and my coaching staff, just to get into a new team, get acclimated with the system. So I just tried my best to just be high and think, everything's going to be good, even though I was all over the place.
Now you got drafted by the Fever, and right from the very get-go, your first regular season game. I'm sure a lot of our listeners want to hear about this. Not many players are going to be able to have a game-winning buzzer beater in their first professional game. Can you just tell us what was that experience like to, to game of the season, your first game as a professional basketball player in the regular season, and you're able to drain, you're able to put in a quick buzzer beater at the end of the game to beat the Liberty. Just tell us about that. What was that experience like?
So the huddle coach drew up a play, to get it into Candace Free, and she was supposed to go to the rim. So when she subbed me in, in practice, Candace is always saying, have your hands ready, keep your hands ready. You never know when the ball's going to come to you or where the ball's going to come to you. So I knew as soon as she caught it and she was driving, I was making my way to the opposite side of the rim. And then I timed it perfectly because I thought she was going to shoot it, but she actually passed it. So if she had a shot at it, I was going to be in a great position to get the rebound, the backside rebound. But since she passed it to me, I caught it, and then I just went over to the opposite side of the rim, and I went up. I knew that I didn't have that much time to put the ball on the floor and try to make a move. And so once I got it, I just caught it, stepped, and laid it in.
What was kind of the afterward celebrating with your teammates? How did that feel to say, hey, here I am, I'm a part of this league now, and what was that like, afterward with all your teammates?
It was pretty fun. They built my confidence as well as that shot built my confidence. I think that, it was a great cap on, me opening myself up to the W and just being able to, play and just come out and just get better, better than I was in college.
I want to a couple of last questions here for you, Teaira. Again, thanks for hopping on with us today. So the Fever started out last season. I think they lost 9 or 10 in a row to start the season. It was rough. Now you guys started to find their feet last year. Ended up still in last place, but not. It seemed like they were like the program was starting to kind of figure it out. You guys are 2-1 now. You've already got a couple wins under your belt. And it seems like the team's playing with confidence. What is it? What are you seeing? What do you expect from your team this season? Where are we wanting to see the Fever by the end of the season?
Most definitely we're turning around this program. We're already up 2-1, so I mean that's halfway better than what we did last year. And so I think that we're definitely gonna make a jump and be way better than we were last year. So with that being said, we try to focus on us, try to focus on our offense as well as our defense. We're great in transition. We're learning as we go. Even when we win, we still look at the games and say, okay, well, what could we have done better? It doesn't matter if we won by 1 or won by 30, 40. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to go back and look and say, okay, well, this is where we need to emphasize to get better. And that's what we're doing now.
Now, a lot of times, in interviews like this, we have players, they want to give a really humble answer. I want you to be able to, have a confident answer right here. What aspect or aspects of your game do you feel like are going to benefit your team the most this season? What do you bring? What do you bring to the floor that you think is going to be the biggest asset to the Fever this season?
Most definitely my size. I think it's already showing, how much I can be helpful to this team. Last year they didn't have a rim protector. They didn't have my size clogging up the lane. So I just think that's working in our favor. Most teams will try to drive in and get a layup if I wasn't in there. So just being there and just, contesting shots, not even blocking the shot, just being there and looking at them, making them either pull up or do something they're not trying to do.
I've got one last question here. Now I've got you on the phone, so you're an insider now. You've been with the team for a few weeks. And so we like to kind of get a feel for, kind of some team dynamics and chemistry. I want to ask you a question. Who is it in the locker room? Who is it on the, coaching staff or teammates or whatnot? Who is it in the organization that makes you laugh the most? Like who's the funny one on the team?
Really, everyone is pretty funny. They all have their times where I'm just cracking up at something that somebody said. So I mean, everyone really. It's a lot of personality up here. We don't shy away from personality. You can be yourself. And I think that's a big thing of why we've been so successful. Also, up to this point, is everyone just playing their role and just showing who they are.
Absolutely love it. Well, thank you so much, Teaira, for taking some time out of your day and chatting with us. You got a couple of big games coming up. We know you've got the Wings here soon and some others. So we just want to wish you the best of luck. I think we've got you on our radar. You actually won in our show. We have a segment where we have Rookie of the Week and Play of the Week and things like that. And you were nominated for Rookie of the Week, and you won Play of the Week in your very first week of being a professional basketball player. So we've got our eyes on you. We're excited to see what you do for the league, and we're excited to hopefully chat with you again in the future. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, yeah. Do you have any last words for WNBA fans or Indiana Fever fans in general before we let you go?
I just want to say to all fans around, watch out for the Fever.
I like it. I've been saying this all off season. See, I'm getting some backup here. So excellent. Well, Teaira, thanks so much for joining us on the show today. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, and thanks again to Teaira McCowan. We appreciate her being on the show. Hopefully we'll have her on again in the future as her career develops, be able to stay in touch with her. So once again, as always, we'd invite you to go ahead and follow us on Twitter and Facebook at WNBA Weekly. If you want to support the show, we've got a Patreon, we've got a merch page. You can see all of that information if you head over to our Twitter. We've got links to everything there. Thank you so much. But until next time, I'm Jason Snow, and we've got you next week.